The first hush of night settles across the valley, and with it comes a softness that seems to stretch from horizon to horizon. The volcano rises in the distance like a great sleeping guardian, its massive slopes smooth and dark, the rim of its ancient caldera etched against the silver sky. Though it holds within it the memory of fire and the promise of deep power, tonight it is silent, and its silence drapes itself over the land like a blanket. You stand at the edge of a forest whose trees lean outward as if they too are gazing at the mountain, and you feel the pull of that quiet strength. The air here is rich and gentle. Ferns breathe a slow perfume of damp greenery, and the soil beneath your feet is cool, padded with centuries of fallen fronds that have softened into earth. Somewhere close, water drifts along polished stones, its voice steady and low, and the sound reassures you the way a lullaby might reassure a child. When you close your eyes, you can imagine that the entire world is exhaling, and that exhale is enough to calm even the busiest thoughts. Across the plain, a small herd of Maiasaura graze in the moonlight. Their silhouettes are large but peaceful, their tails moving in deliberate arcs that mark the night with patience. Calves nuzzle their mothers, and the mothers lean down with low, soothing rumbles that carry no urgency, only comfort. You watch the rhythm of their feeding, the way they pause to lift their heads and glance toward the volcano, and you realize they too are anchored by its quiet. It is not only a mountain to them, it is a constant presence, a guardian that has stood before their ancestors and will stand long after them. The herd trusts this silent colossus, and you find yourself trusting it as well. The moon is high, clear and bright, scattering silver coins across the plain. Its light catches on the scales of the Maiasaura, turns their hides into muted tapestries of bronze and green, and paints long shadows that merge with the grass. A breeze crosses the land, carrying with it the scent of ash, faint but undeniable, like the memory of fire that once roared here. Yet it does not disturb the animals. It does not disturb you. Instead, it reminds you that beneath stillness there is always life, and beneath silence there is always the possibility of renewal. As you settle deeper into the forest edge, you find a patch of moss that seems prepared for you, its surface soft and slightly springy, holding the coolness of the night. When you lower yourself to it, the ground accepts your weight without resistance, as though it had been waiting for your arrival. The curve of the earth beneath your body fits easily to your shape, and for a moment you feel as though you are not separate from the land but part of its design, another creature resting in its arms. Above, the sky reveals 1,000 stars, and each one seems sharper in the dark air that flows from the volcano's crown. The rim of the mountain holds them like a vessel, a vast bowl filled not with molten fire but with light. You let your gaze follow the constellations, and in their company you feel your breath slowing, your chest rising and falling in time with the eternal rhythm of the night. There is no need to hurry. Time here is not counted in minutes or hours but in the gentle turning of the earth and the steady sleeping of giants. Somewhere among the trees, a family of small ornithopods stir. They move lightly, their steps barely audible, their outlines flickering through the leaves like shadows chasing one another. Now and then one pauses, nose lifting to test the air, before moving on. They are cautious but unafraid, for this is their home and the mountain is their shield. Their presence reminds you that even in the depth of night, life continues quietly, every creature carrying on in its own rhythm, every sound blending into the greater chorus of peace. You imagine the volcano as more than stone. You imagine it as a heart, vast and slow, beating deep within the earth. Each rumble, though rare and faint, is like the pulse of that heart, reminding the valley of its living core. Yet tonight it rests, its strength turned inward, its breath calm. That calm extends into you, and you feel your own heart echoing the mountain's measured rhythm. The forest itself joins in the lull. Fronds shift gently overhead, their edges whispering against one another in a language that requires no translation. Tree trunks exude the scent of age, the kind of smell that comes only from centuries of standing still, watching suns rise and moons fall. Vines drape from branches like strands of a curtain, and as the breeze stirs them they sway with the ease of dreamers. Every element around you participates in this single act of rest. Your body yields to the ground. The muscles that once carried the weight of the day have no reason to hold tight any longer. Shoulders soften, The curve of your spine eases, even the small, often unnoticed tensions in your jaw and brow release into the cool air. You feel the moss cradle you more deeply, as if it has grown around you, weaving itself into your edges. Far in the distance, a lone call rises. It is deep and resonant, perhaps from a solitary sauropod wandering along the far side of the plain. The sound does not break the silence but rather completes it, a single note in a symphony that only the night can conduct. When it fades, the silence feels fuller, as though the call gave it shape. You close your eyes and let that sound echo inside you, a reminder that you share this world not alone but in harmony with beings ancient and enduring. The thought drifts across your mind that here, in this valley beneath the silent volcano, time does not press forward with urgency. It spreads out like a vast plain, unbroken and patient. You could walk for days among these trees and always find the same quiet. You could rest for hours and the world would hold you exactly as it does now. There is a comfort in knowing that the land does not demand anything from you. It only offers itself, steady and generous. Sleep comes not as a sudden fall but as a gradual blending. The line between waking and dreaming blurs the way a horizon blurs at dusk. Your breaths deepen. Thoughts thin out and slip like small creatures into the undergrowth. The volcano remains, tall and watchful, a presence you can lean into even with your eyes closed. Its silence fills the spaces where words once crowded, and that silence is enough. The Fern Road. The night deepens, yet it does not darken into fear. Instead, it opens like a book written in shades of silver and shadow. You rise from your mossy hollow and let your feet follow a path that seems older than memory, a road pressed into the earth by countless gentle steps. It is not a road of stone or of wood, but of habit and of time. Generations of creatures have passed this way, sauropods moving toward water, small packs of herbivores finding shelter, even predators whose heavy strides once echoed against the trees. All of them have left behind a corridor through the ferns, and tonight that corridor belongs to you. The ferns arch above your head, their long fronds feathering into the night sky. When the wind stirs, they brush one another with the softness of whispered secrets, and their movement seems to invite you onward. Each step is cushioned by centuries of fallen leaves, layers of memory laid gently beneath your feet. There is no crunch, no resistance, only a muted acceptance, as though the earth itself has chosen to carry you without effort. Now and then, the shadows quiver with life. Tiny Compsognathus dart between stems, quick as thoughts. One pauses, head tilted, eyes bright as droplets of obsidian, and for a moment the two of you regard each other. Then it slips back into the dark, untroubled, certain that you mean no harm. Its brief appearance reminds you that this forest is awake in ways you cannot measure. Even in the stillest moments, 1,000 small lives weave unseen threads through the undergrowth. As you walk, the air grows cooler. The canopy above thickens, stitched together with vines that hang like the strands of a curtain. Moonlight leaks through in patches, scattering luminous coins on the ground. Your footsteps find these patches one by one, as if you were following a trail of stars laid out specifically for you. With every step, the volcano looms larger through gaps in the trees, its slopes rising like dark waves frozen in stone. Deeper in the forest, the trunks grow vast, their bases broad as towers. Some lean against one another like old companions sharing a quiet conversation. Others stand solitary, straight and unyielding, bark furrowed by centuries of weather. The scent here is thicker, resin and damp earth, mingled with the faint mineral breath that drifts from the mountain's flanks. Each inhalation fills you with something steady, grounding, as though you are breathing not just air but the patience of the land itself. The path bends, and suddenly the ground drops into a shallow stream. Water glides over smooth stones, their surfaces worn glassy by ages of passage. The stream sings a song without beginning or end, only a continuous line of gentle notes. You kneel and dip your hands into the current. The cold seeps into your skin and travels upward, quieting any remnants of the day that might still cling to you. It is as if the water recognizes your weariness and carries it away, leaving only clarity behind. On the far bank, the ferns part to reveal a shadow immense and slow. A sauropod steps into view, tall as the trees themselves. Its body moves with an ease that belies its size, each step deliberate, measured, and impossibly quiet. A young one follows close at its side, imitating every motion, every pause, every turn of the head. Together they move through the undergrowth like drifting clouds, brushing aside fronds that fall back into place behind them. The great creature lowers its head, plucks a branch, and chews with a rhythm steady enough to be mistaken for the heartbeat of the forest itself. You stand still, not out of fear but out of reverence. The sight of such scale and such gentleness braided together leaves you without words. The sauropod's eye glimmers in the moonlight, vast yet calm, acknowledging you without judgment. The calf glances at you, then returns to its grazing, as if your presence is simply another harmless part of the night. For a moment, you are woven into their world, accepted without question, and the feeling is both humbling and comforting. The path resumes on the other side of the stream, climbing slightly as it curves toward the mountain. The incline is gentle, and with each step the air changes, tinged now with a faint heat rising from deep below. It is not oppressive, only noticeable, a reminder that the volcano is alive beneath its silence. The ground beneath your feet feels subtly different, lighter, almost hollow, as though carrying the echo of ancient flows that once carved hidden tunnels through stone. As you ascend, the sounds of the forest shift. Crickets fade behind you, replaced by the soft rush of wind descending from the mountain's crown. That wind carries with it whispers of ash and stone, scents that tell stories older than any creature alive. You breathe them in, and they settle within you like memories borrowed from the earth itself. The trees thin, and ahead the canopy opens into a clearing bathed in silver light. The clearing is ringed by cycads, their crowns reaching upward like hands offering blessings to the sky. In the center lies a patch of bare soil, soft with ancient ash, as if the mountain once exhaled here and the land never forgot. You step into the clearing, and the ground cradles your feet with a warmth that seems to rise from below. It is not heat but comfort, like standing on a hearth long after the fire has dimmed. Here you pause. The clearing feels sacred, though it demands nothing from you. It simply exists, a place where earth and sky and memory meet. You close your eyes, and in the darkness behind your eyelids you see the volcano not as rock but as a living being, immense and quiet, holding the valley in its protective embrace. Its silence is not emptiness but fullness, the fullness of patience, of age, of stories untold. And in that fullness, you feel yourself soften further, as if your own silence has been waiting for this moment to bloom. When you open your eyes again, the path continues upward, inviting you deeper into the mountain's shadow. You follow, and as you do, the night seems to follow with you, steady and calm, every step another verse in the long song of rest that the land has been singing since time began. Lake of Reflections. The slope carries you gently upward until the trees part and the ground evens out into a wide bowl of stone. At its center lies a lake so still that it seems less like water and more like a mirror placed by the hand of the earth. The volcano's rim rises high above, and the lake gathers every curve of its shadow, every glimmer of the sky, and lays them flat upon its surface. The moon rests there, unbroken, and the stars sprinkle themselves across the black glass with a precision that no painter could match. You pause at the shore, and the silence is immense. Even the forest seems to hold its breath here. The air is cooler, touched by the faint mineral scent that drifts from hidden vents in the stone. When you lower your hand toward the water, it greets your reflection before it greets your skin, and for a heartbeat you cannot tell which belongs to you and which belongs to the world. Then the surface ripples softly, and the two merge into one. A faint rustle draws your attention, and you see a procession of small, beaked dinosaurs emerging from the ferns. They move in quiet unison, their heads dipping as they step to the lake's edge. One after another, they lower their snouts, drinking with slow, practiced motions. Their reflections stretch long across the water, blending with the stars so that for an instant it seems as though the creatures themselves are made of night sky. You watch them, their patience, their ordinariness, and you feel something inside you loosen. You belong to this moment just as much as they do. High above, wings unfurl. A pair of pterosaurs crosses the lake, their silhouettes gliding like ships across a sea of stars. Their shadows ripple along the surface, breaking the perfect mirror into fragments, and then the water smooths itself once again, erasing the disturbance. The pterosaurs vanish into the sky, leaving only the memory of movement, the way a dream fades when you wake yet leaves behind a soft residue of wonder. The lake is more than water. It is memory held in liquid form, a record of all that has passed under the volcano's gaze. You imagine the herds that have come here through centuries, their shapes bending to drink, their voices murmuring in the night. You imagine storms sweeping over the rim, their rain breaking the surface into chaos before the calm returned. And you imagine nights like this one, countless and unbroken, when the water held its silence and the mountain stood watch without a word. You sit at the shore, knees bent, hands resting in the ash-soft soil. The ground carries a warmth that seeps upward into your bones, not fierce but steady, like the last glow of embers beneath a fire that has nearly gone out. It steadies your body, slows your breath, and you realize that your thoughts have thinned almost to nothing. They drift like faint ripples across the water, appearing for a moment and then smoothing out into the wider stillness. From the far side of the lake, a sauropod steps carefully from the trees. Its long neck rises against the stars, its body immense yet graceful, a living bridge between earth and sky. It lowers its head to the shore and drinks, drawing deep, slow draughts of water that echo faintly in the night. Each movement is deliberate, as if the creature understands the sanctity of this place. You watch, transfixed, as its reflection doubles its size, a giant above and a giant below, both joined by the quiet line of the lake's surface. The sauropod finishes, lifts its head, and releases a low, resonant note that rolls across the water. It is not loud, but it carries far, vibrating within your chest as though the sound has chosen to live there for a while. The note fades into silence, and yet the silence feels changed, deeper, fuller, like a vessel that has been filled. You close your eyes and let that resonance linger, imagining it as a lull that carries you closer to rest. The night is long, but you no longer feel its length. Time bends differently here. Moments stretch like threads of silk, strong but light, weaving together into a fabric of calm. You know that the volcano has seen nights without number, that this lake has held stars for millions of years, and that your presence here is a brief flicker. Yet in this briefness lies peace. You are a guest welcomed into an ancient rhythm, and that rhythm holds you as gently as a mother holds a child. When you finally rise, the lake remains behind you, unchanging. Its surface closes over your absence without ripple, returning to its perfect stillness. You step back onto the path, carrying with you the reflection of stars not only in your memory but within your very breath. Each inhalation feels brighter, clearer, and each exhalation feels like a release into something vast and forgiving. The trail curves once more, leading toward a dark mouth in the rock. A tunnel opens there, carved long ago by flows of fire now cooled into stone. You step toward it without fear. The mountain is inviting you inward, deeper into its silence, and you are ready to follow. Under the mountain. The tunnel opens like a breath held in stone. Its arch is wide enough for a herd to pass, yet tonight it is empty, filled only with the cool weight of air. You step inside, and at once the sounds of the forest fall away, replaced by a hush so complete that even your own footsteps seem reluctant to disturb it. The walls curve smoothly, their surfaces rippled by the flow of molten rivers that once roared here. Now they shine faintly, polished by time, glimmering under the scattered moonlight that seeps in from the entrance. Deeper in, darkness gathers. It is not threatening darkness but a kind that soothes, like a heavy blanket drawn over tired shoulders. The scent here is sharper, stone warmed and cooled 1,000 times, ash that has slept for centuries, minerals that breathe faintly of heat far below. Your hand brushes the wall and it is cool, steady, and grounding, as if the mountain itself were lending you a fragment of its patience. You move forward slowly. The floor is soft with fine dust, its surface carrying the impressions of creatures who have passed long before you. Some tracks are wide and circular, prints of great feet that press deep into ash before stone remembered them forever. Others are delicate, like the marks of small birds, scattered in patterns that seem random but carry their own forgotten order. With each step you add your own print, and you realize that this tunnel is less a passage than a record, a library written not with words but with footsteps. The air grows warmer as you continue. It brushes your skin with a faint breath, rising from vents hidden in the stone. You pause at one such vent where the wall exhales a thin ribbon of warmth. When you lean close, you can hear it whisper, a sound too soft to be called a voice yet filled with the rhythm of something alive. You breathe in, and the warmth settles deep within you, a reminder that the mountain is not dead but dreaming. The tunnel narrows, then widens again, opening into a chamber vast enough to hold the night sky. Stalactites hang like frozen spears, their tips glistening with droplets that fall one by one into a pool below. The pool is shallow, yet its surface reflects the chamber's ceiling with perfect clarity. You kneel beside it, watching as each drop sends ripples outward, circles overlapping, fading, and then beginning again. The rhythm is hypnotic, and you find yourself breathing in time with it, inhaling as the ripple grows, exhaling as it disappears. From deeper within the chamber, a glow flickers. At first it is faint, the suggestion of light bending around a corner, but as you move closer, you see it for what it is, crystals embedded in the rock, catching the smallest trace of luminescence and multiplying it until the walls seem to shimmer. They glow not with fire but with memory, as though they had swallowed sunlight long ago and now return it in fragments. The chamber is alive with these gentle sparks, and as you stand among them, you feel as if you have stepped into a constellation hidden beneath the earth. A sound carries through the chamber, a low, resonant note. You turn, expecting to see emptiness, but from a shadowed arch a creature emerges. It is a stegosaurus, its plates rising like jagged sails along its back, each one catching the faint glow of the crystals. It moves slowly, its tail swaying, the spikes at its end tracing arcs of quiet authority. Its steps are deliberate, its head low as it follows the chamber wall. You watch in silence, aware that this space belongs to it, yet it accepts your presence without alarm. When it passes near, you glimpse its eye glimmering in the dim light, calm and unbothered, as if it recognizes you as part of the night's procession. The stegosaurus moves on, its body fading back into shadow until only the memory of its presence remains. Yet the calm it left behind lingers, folded into the chamber's silence. You breathe deeply, and with each breath you feel yourself becoming heavier, not with weariness but with rest, as if gravity itself were holding you more kindly. Beyond the chamber, the tunnel slopes upward. You follow, and with each step the air cools again. A draft whispers down from above, carrying with it the faint scent of open sky. The walls grow lighter in color, streaked with veins of pale ash and stone, and you sense that you are nearing another threshold. The path bends once, twice, then releases you into an opening framed by jagged rock. You step out, and the world expands. You are high on the mountain's flank now, the forest below spread like a dark ocean, the plain silvered by moonlight. The lake you left behind gleams faintly, a coin set into the valley's palm. Above, the sky stretches wider than before, the stars sharper, the moon a white lantern balanced on the rim of the volcano. You breathe deeply, and the air here feels cleaner, as though it has passed through the heart of the mountain before reaching you. You sit on a ledge of stone, your legs dangling over the slope. The rock is warm beneath you, holding the memory of the sun that once touched it, and the warmth seeps into your body. From here, you can hear the faint movements of herds below, the soft calls of Maiasaura, the occasional bellow of a distant hadrosaur, the steady rhythm of life continuing as it always has. These sounds reach you like lullabies carried upward by the wind. The volcano towers above, its summit lost in shadow, its silence vast. Yet you feel no fear. The silence is not emptiness but assurance. It says that there is no need for you to act, no need for you to carry anything further. The mountain carries it all. You are free simply to rest, to breathe, to exist beneath its quiet gaze. The longer you sit, the more your body yields. Muscles release their hold, thoughts dissolve into the night, and even the steady beat of your heart slows to match the calm around you. You close your eyes, and in the darkness you see again the tunnels, the crystals, the great creatures moving with patience. They are not dreams, they are the mountain's memories shared with you. You drift within them, safe, steady, and at peace. Guardians of the silent night. The stone ledge where you sit becomes a threshold, and beyond it the path continues, curling upward in a slow, forgiving ascent. You rise again, your body moving with the patience of the mountain itself, and follow the curve of rock. The air here is thinner, touched by cool drafts that sweep down from the summit. Each breath carries with it the faintest taste of ash, a reminder that beneath its silence, the volcano still dreams. Yet the dream is calm, vast, and unhurried, and you walk within it as though it were a story written only for you. Along the slope, you notice prints pressed into the soil, deep and broad. They belong to creatures immense, whose weight pressed their memory into the land. The impressions are old, softened by weather, but they guide your steps nonetheless. To walk in them feels like walking within history itself, aligning your stride with beings who knew this mountain long before you arrived. With each step, you inherit their calm, and it flows through your body as naturally as breath. The path broadens into a plateau, and here a herd of ceratopsians grazes beneath the stars. Their horns gleam like polished ivory, catching the moonlight, while their frills rise in dark silhouettes against the sky. They move slowly, rhythmically, their tails swaying in steady arcs. A few lift their heads as you appear, eyes reflecting pale light, but they return to their grazing without concern. You are not an intruder here, you are simply part of the night, folded into its fabric. Among them, a calf stumbles, then regains its footing with a soft huff. Its mother lowers her head, nuzzling the young one until it steadies itself again. The gesture is so simple, yet so complete, that it quiets you in a way words cannot. You watch them, and you feel the truth of their presence. Life here does not rush. It unfolds at its own pace, guided by instincts honed through countless nights beneath the volcano's gaze. You walk slowly among the herd, your steps careful, respectful. The ceratopsians shift to make room, but they do not flee. Their acceptance wraps around you like the air itself. When you glance toward the volcano's summit, you imagine that it watches too, its silence not one of indifference but of guardianship. Everything here moves under its protection, and tonight that protection extends to you. Beyond the plateau, the slope narrows again, bordered by jagged outcrops that rise like watchtowers. Between them, the sky opens wider, and the stars pour down in brilliant cascades. The Milky Way stretches across the heavens, a luminous river mirroring the ancient river that once carved this valley. You stop to gaze upward, and for a long moment, you feel as though you are standing at the center of two reflections, the mountain rising beneath you, the cosmos stretching above, each infinite in its own way, each holding you effortlessly within its span. From the shadows of the rocks, a pair of ankylosaurs emerge. Their bodies are low and armored, tails heavy with clubs that sway like pendulums. Despite their formidable appearance, they move with surprising gentleness, side by side, their steps synchronized. They pause to graze on low shrubs that cling to the stone, crunching softly in the quiet. The sound is steady, grounding, and you find yourself breathing in time with it, each inhale and exhale falling into rhythm with their chewing. You realize that these creatures are not simply inhabitants of the night, they are guardians of its peace. Their presence, steady and immovable, reassures you that nothing need disturb your rest. They have walked this slope for generations, and they will continue long after you have moved on. The volcano shelters them as it shelters you, and in their company, you feel the weight of safety settle fully into your body. As you move on, the ankylosaurs remain behind, their silhouettes blending once more into the rocks. The path begins to curve, circling the mountain's flank, leading you toward its crown. The incline is gentle, but your body feels lighter now, as though the mountain itself is carrying part of your weight. The silence deepens with every step, not empty but full of breath, of stone, of ancient patience. At last, you reach another clearing, this one high above the valley. From here, the entire land spreads out beneath you, the forest like a dark sea, the plain shimmering with moonlight, the lake reflecting stars as though it were still holding the night in its palm. You stand at the edge of the world, and yet you feel no fear of falling. The mountain holds you steady, as it has held countless others. You sit once more, letting the stone cradle your body. The warmth of the earth seeps upward, easing the last remnants of tension from your muscles. Your eyelids grow heavy, not with exhaustion but with trust, with the certainty that here, beneath the silent volcano, you are safe. Around you, the guardians of the night continue their quiet watch, the herds grazing, the ankylosaurs standing firm, the mountain itself breathing its deep, patient breath. And as you close your eyes, you feel yourself slipping further into their rhythm. The world narrows to the sound of your breath, the weight of the stone beneath you, and the vast silence that holds it all. You are no longer separate from the mountain or from the creatures that move upon it. You are part of the night, woven into its fabric, resting in its embrace. The mountain's dream. The summit is closer now, though you have not hurried. Each step has been part of the same rhythm, the same long breath of the mountain. The path curves one final time, and then the land opens into a broad terrace of stone. Above you, the rim of the volcano cuts a perfect circle into the sky, framing the moon at its center like a jewel set into a crown. The caldera lies beyond, but you do not need to peer into its depths. The silence that rises from it tells you everything. The mountain is at rest, and it invites you to rest with it. You settle on a flat stretch of warm rock, the surface smoothed by countless seasons of wind and rain. From here, the view is endless. The valley spreads below like a dark tapestry embroidered with rivers of light. Forests unfurl in rolling waves, plains shimmer in silver, and the lake gleams like a mirror left behind by the gods. Creatures move across the land, tiny from this height, yet each one carrying its own life, its own rhythm. Herds drift like shadows, tails swinging. Wings cut arcs across the sky, brief but graceful. The world is alive, yet it moves with such calm that it seems to be breathing in unison with the volcano. You close your eyes and let the night speak. The mountain hums not with sound but with presence, a resonance that seeps into your bones. You feel it in the stone beneath you, in the air brushing against your skin, in the slow pulse of your own heart. It is as though the volcano has extended its dream to you, inviting you to share in its vast and patient sleep. The dream is gentle. In it, you walk again along the fern road, the fronds bowing to let you pass. You sit once more at the lake of reflections, the stars doubling themselves at your feet. You wander through crystal-lit chambers where Stegosaurus and Ankylosaur move like guardians of an underworld sanctuary. And you stand again among herds that accept you without question, creatures whose size should inspire fear but whose calm inspires only peace. These memories drift together, forming a single seamless story that carries you deeper into rest. Even the sounds of the night, the rustle of ferns, the call of a distant sauropod, the steady chewing of ceratopsians, are part of the dream now. They are threads woven into the fabric of silence, each one balancing the others, each one reminding you that life continues even when you sleep. Nothing is demanded of you. Nothing is asked. You are free simply to be. The stars will slowly overhead, though you do not see their turning. Time slips past without edge, without urgency. You could remain here for hours or for days, and the mountain would hold you the same way. It has cradled life for millions of years, and tonight it cradles you. Its silence is not empty, it is full, carrying the patience of ages, the memory of fire, the promise of tomorrow's dawn. Your body has grown heavy now, limbs sinking into the warmth of stone. Your breath is deep and even, a tide flowing in and out without effort. Thoughts are fewer than ever, dissolving before they can take shape, fading like smoke into the night. What remains is only stillness, the stillness of the mountain, the stillness of the valley, the stillness within you. The moon lowers toward the horizon, its light softening into silver haze. The volcano's rim still frames it, as though reluctant to let it go. Yet even as the light shifts, the calm does not break. The night holds steady, the guardians of the land remain at watch, and the mountain continues to dream. You are part of that dream now, carried deeper into it with every breath. And so, beneath the silent volcano, you yield completely. The land holds you. The creatures accept you. The sky shelters you. Sleep comes not as a fall but as a merging, a gentle blending of self into world, of thought into silence. You drift, secure, safe, and endlessly at peace, as the mountain dreams on, ancient and eternal.